Hi guys, we're going to talk about Coxa Valga. I'm reviewing 2 x-rays here. It's going to come up more often, but this is something that I'm working on again so you have the content to help your child. So one of the things that you're looking at with Coxa Valga is that right through here, the femoral head starts to go straight. Right? You should have an angle about 125 degree. Coxa Valga is typically around 150 degrees. It is more common with cerebral palsy, but that doesn't mean that that's the case, right? What they're looking for right here is that the hip socket is good. So you might hear hips are good, and you're thinking, oh, it's one less thing I have to worry about. But understanding how your child moves is where I come in. Structure is structure. So here you have straight legs, especially, you just have to watch where it is over the pelvis. And in this case, too, the pelvis goes beyond where the legs are. So even lying down, rolling over is going to show its complications. I did note on this one is the child is very constipated. And I realize that you're saying your child's passing stool. That doesn't mean they're eliminating. You're not getting that clearance that you're looking for. And now when you're going into here, please, I have to say, I am not a doctor. I'm a movement specialist. You're going to work with your doctor on this. I'm explaining the structure of the pelvis and how it's going to affect development. You're going to go in here too, again, assuming there's neurological problems, but a lot of people negate the neurological into the physical, right? As you can see here with this child, he is going to have difficulties to get in and out of standing. But is it the fact that he has CP? Is it the fact that he has it's brain trauma? Or is the fact that he can't get up in this position because of the Coxa Valga? And that's what people don't realize. So you're trying to do movements that your child is meant to do, but you're not realizing that. And that's where I do ask for hip x-rays in cases. I truly believe that if you have a neurological condition, you should have a baseline. So what we're looking at here is typical, right? The 125 degree angle. You'll see the legs coming in underneath. And this is Coxa Valga, tend to have more of a bowing of the legs, not all the time. And then you'll have Coxa Vera, where you have a narrow shaft, right, or almost a 90 degree, and that tends to create a knock-kneed. Again, not all the time, but the structure of the pelvis. And this is why, too, I am a firm believer, if they're talking about AFOs with your child, please, 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 you need to check the structure. It happened to me personally. They put Dennison bars on me. They really messed with my hips. It's just personal experience. So here again, you're going to see again the structural, but in the hip instability. Now in this case, you're seeing too that the right leg, not only is it completely straight, but it's starting to sublux a little bit. You really want to watch a child in standing, and you can see in standing, the child doesn't have a leg to stand on. The legs are actually going out a bit. And that's what you're directing. And you can really see too here, the pelvis, what I was talking about, is going beyond. So lying on the side is going to be uncomfortable, things like that. So be careful when you're propping your child in position. That's what you're creating. When a child doesn't want to do something, right, that's intelligence. It's not sensory issues. That's intelligence saying that it hurts or so forth. That will go over. You'll see a decreased range of motion with this, that your child will not be able to do things typically it should be done based off the structure. And again, I mentioned there could be pain or even chronic pain with this. And you really have to take care of that if you see a child acting up or being unstable or just being, a bear, that are we looking at that again, because my son, one day he told me he had a stomach ache. He was about 7. And I said, nothing should hurt on your body. And he goes, Mom, I hurt all the time. That's, you know what I mean? What's normal to them doesn't mean it's right, and we have to keep care and keep an eye on it. Here you can see, too, a sitting intolerance, that a child is still creating the milestones, but you can see where someone would say with a slouch and what's going on here, right? Is it more the hips and the pelvis? So something like the child like this really needs to be looked at for structure, not developmental. You can't do something you can't do. right? Just like if your car might have gas, but if the engine's broken, doesn't mean the car is going to run. I don't mean to be insensitive with the analogies, but you have to look again at the scooting and what she's doing. She can't get up over the pelvis. This is a long reach, so she comes up, in her case, through the center. Her legs go really wide out in that to get into standing. And most people think, oh, she's getting to standing, she's going to do those things, right? But at the same time, too, it's really important to take care when you're seeing these kind of things, that to understand what Coxa valga is and how it can affect your child in development. Definitely look at vision, things like that. But now you have to make the chest cavity and the feet even more supple to deal with the instability within the pelvis area. And that's something to look at. Thanks so much.